Hello boys and girls, welcome to yet another fun and exciting class in Science in Daily Life. I am Sir Zamin.
And I am Miss Raymond.
I do hope that you are ready for us to go on yet another exciting journey and have fun in today's lesson. For today, we will be looking at respiration.
Now, today, boys and girls, we'll be talking about the difference between the types of respiration, and we're going to also describe the breathing in a fish.
Students, we often confuse the term between respiration and breathing. Look at me. What did I just do? I would have inhaled and exhaled, or commonly breathe in and breathe out. The word itself, breathe, tells you what I was doing. I was breathing. Now, boys and girls, that is not called respiration, that is called breathing. So it is with the expectation at the end of today's lesson, you'll be able to better understand what is respiration and breathing.
Good. Now, the purpose of respiration is to therefore release energy from food materials. It is a process that takes place in every cell of every organism. Now, let us look at some definitions today. We'll be talking about gaseous exchange. We'll also be looking at breathing. And like Sir rightfully said, we will know the difference between breathing and respiration. So let's dive right into it.
So boys and girls, what is respiration? A purely biological definition of respiration is the process by which living cells oxidize food or burn food and release energy, at the same time giving off carbon dioxide. In organisms, respiration is accompanied by gaseous exchange, better known as breathing. It should be understood that the process of respiration is whereby potential energy stored in food is released in steps as energy do work. Respiration takes place in each and every cell of every organism, and the energy in food is released with the help of enzymes. Enzymes are special chemicals that speed up reactions.
Good. Now, respiratory enzymes control the rate of the release of energy from the food. The enzymes ensure that the reaction occurs at body temperature, which is much lower than temperatures at which fuels burn. The burning process or oxidation of food in order to release energy usually needs oxygen, which is in the air organisms breathe in. Hence the reason breathing is important. We need the oxygen.
So boys and girls, do you think oxygen is the only gas present in the air? Definitely not. The air is made up of a mixture of gases. I would like to direct your attention to the screen to show you the composition of air, what it constitutes. So, nitrogen, there is 78% of nitrogen present in our air, 21% of oxygen, and only 1% of other gases, which includes carbon dioxide, inert gases, as well as water vapor.
Now, what is the process of respiration? There are two main kinds of respiration, namely 1, aerobic, and 2, anaerobic respiration. Let us talk a little bit about aerobic respiration. When oxygen is one of the reactants in the process of respiration, the respiration is said to be aerobic. Respiration in humans is one of the aerobic kinds, and we are often referred to as aerobics.
Let's now move on to anaerobic respiration. What is anaerobic respiration? When energy stored in food is released without oxygen being a reactant in the process, the respiration is said to be anaerobic. Organisms which carry out anaerobic respiration are called anaerobes. The respiration, for example, in bacteria causing tetanus is anaerobic. Should oxygen be supplied to that bacteria, or should oxygen be supplied to any anaerobes, they will die. Now, boys and girls, I'm not sure if you would have experienced this before, but due to running, have you ever stopped with a pain somewhere around your stomach area? Or even dancing, doing some nice vigorous dance, you would end up stopping because of a pain. And the term is commonly called, oh, I got stitches, and and you feel a bit of pain there. What happened is that you deprive your cells of oxygen, which caused your cells to start to respire anaerobically, therefore producing what we call lactic acid that creates that pain. Therefore, due to breathing in heavily, you have to replace that lactic acid with oxygen so that your cells may start respiring properly.
Very good, sir. Now, let us talk a little bit about the differences between the processes of respiration. What are the processes again? They are 1, aerobic, and 2, anaerobic. Simply saying one needs oxygen and the other doesn't. Let us take a look at the differences. Now, in aerobic respiration, oxygen is one of the reactants, whereas for anaerobic respiration, you do not need oxygen. Another point, oxidation of food nutrients is needed in aerobic respiration, whereas in anaerobic, food nutrients they're broken down without oxygen. The products for aerobic respirations are water and carbon dioxide, whereas the products for anaerobic respiration are lactic acid, like Sir said, and carbon dioxide, as well as ethanol in plant cells, such as yeast.
In addition, we have for aerobic respiration a complete breakdown of the glucose molecule, whereby in anaerobic it is the incomplete breakdown of that glucose molecule, which caused the next difference. For aerobic respiration, we have a high output of energy, whereby in anaerobic we have a low output of energy.
We talked a little bit about respiration. Let us talk now about breathing. What is breathing? Breathing describes the combined action of inhaling and exhaling air. The purpose of breathing is to bring air close to the respiratory surface, be it the surface of the trachea as in insects, or the gills as in fishes, or us in humans, our lungs. Breathing is external respiration, and it involves movement of respiratory structures. Yet plants do not breathe, they respire.
So boys and girls, for today, let us look at breathing in a fish. How does a fish breathe? The movements in a fish aimed at getting air, which is dissolved in the water close to the gills, are the opening and closing of the mouth and the raising and lowering of the gill cover or operculum. I'm sure if you would have looked at fishes in an aquarium, you would have noticed the mouth going up, open, close, and the gill cover flapping, right? Now that movement, that is what enables the fish to breathe. So students, the water which enters into the mouth when it is open and closed flows over the gills when the operculum is raised and the mouth closed.
The esophagus is closed before the mouth is closed, and the floor of the mouth raised so that the water does not enter the digestive system. The water flows in one direction only.
As it passes over the gill, oxygen diffuses into the blood in the gills. Carbon dioxide in the blood in the gills diffuses into the water before the water passes out of the operculum.
Now, boys and girls, let us take a look at a video on how a fish breathes.
How do fish breathe?
Through gills?
Through gills. Okay, so we've only got the head of this fish, but we'll be able to see its gills.
Here?
Yeah, so...
It's so wet and full.
Okay, so they are the gills. What do you notice about them? What do you notice about those gills?
They look
How about the colour? Tell me about the colour. They look
like
weird,
a
yeah?
deep red
Deep red. What
Like a
makes them
maroon.
red, you reckon?
blood.
Yeah, blood. So these gills have lots and lots of blood vessels in them. Okay, lots of capillaries. Capillaries are super
salmon?
small. I reckon it might be. Doesn't matter that colour. Okay, so this is how fish breathe. So what else could you describe about these gills? What else would you say?
They look a bit tentacly because they have
Yeah.
lots of different strands.
Lots of different strands. Why do you think they've got lots of different strands?
For the air to go in and out.
Yeah, absolutely. We say it's got a large surface area.
So it doesn't let
lots and
anything
lots
else in.
of, well, it's about having lots and lots of surface. So lots and lots of capillaries are in contact with the water.
Wow.
And the water runs over the gills and
So it doesn't let
oxygen,
anything in. It
well, we
doesn't
want
let
oxygen to go in,
except
don't we?
oxygen.
So the water runs over the gills, and because there's more oxygen in the water than there is in the blood, the oxygen moves in through the gills into the capillaries, and then it gets taken around the body. But can you see through into the mouth?
Yeah.
Okay. If I turn around this way, can you see through
got
to the
little
gills?
teeth.
Yeah, it does. So you can see through to the gills, can't you?
Yeah.
So the fish is swimming along, mouth open,
Oh.
and the water's going through the mouth, past the gills, and out this way. And as the water's passing over the gills, the oxygen, because there's more oxygen in the water than there is in the the blood vessels of the gills, so the oxygen diffuses through into the blood vessels of the gills and then through the body. So there you go. That is how fish breathe underwater.
But why can't fish breathe out of the like in?
Yeah, good
Yep.
question. Why can't fish breathe out of the water? Well, because they're designed to take the oxygen out of the water. Okay, so they have water going through their mouth and it's flowing over the gills. So if you take a fish out of the water, there's no water flowing over the gills.
So they don't open.
They can't take the oxygen out of the air. They only take the oxygen out of the water.
Wow.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Bye.
Now, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed that video. I trust that you now have a better understanding or an idea of how a fish breathes.
In conclusion of today's lesson, you would have examined and differentiated the types of respiration, and we would have looked at how a fish breathes. And I do hope now you have a better understanding, especially of the definition or the difference between breathing and respiration. Of course, without breathing, respiration cannot occur.
Now, do join us in our next session as we continue on the topic of respiration. My name is Miss Riemann.
And I am Sir Zamin.
Bye-bye.